There we go. Okay, so welcome everyone to Space City Rocketry meeting 2021-2022. Today is December 14th. This is the first meeting, I guess, now going into the winter. I know a couple of y'all still have finals tomorrow, so good luck on that. Y'all will do amazing. An overview today. Thank you for the picture, Haley, that you put here for the slide. We're going to give a couple shout outs. We'll have an announcement, winter schedule, deadlines, and then the sub-team updates. So first, Bailey, do you want to take on this slide? I think it's a couple of you.
Yeah, sounds great. Sam?
Hi, so MIDIC is a competition for minority serving institutions where teams take an existing NASA technology or intellectual property and find pain points and draft a proposal with viable solutions with the intent of commercializing this product. And the the 8 qualifying teams could receive up to $5,000 as incentive, and the winning team gets $10,000 for prototype development along with a tour of NASA's Ames Research Center and networking opportunities with tech companies in Silicon Valley. The current technology we're looking into is the A-Puffer, which is an autonomous robot that was developed to scout regions on the moon and gain information about the locations that may be difficult for astronauts to investigate on foot because they're high-risk extreme terrains.
So our current areas of focus, especially as it pertains to the commercialization of the A-Puffer, are tech companies specializing in GPS systems and mapping, such as Apple and Google Maps. We believe that the nature of the robot, namely its ability to explore and collect data regarding remote locations, would make it suitable and marketable to these companies, since it would enable them to expand the scope of what the services that they've already rolled out. We are also exploring options within various government sectors, since this technology is also suited for analytics. So if anyone you know would be interested, or if you'll have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact either Sam or myself, because we'd love to have y'all.
A couple questions. Is there anything you need to have any prior experience to be part of the team? Is there a certain amount of members that y'all need right now?
Currently we're looking at 2 or more members, and it maxes out at groups of 5. There is a proposal concept, but because me and Sam have already gone through the necessary academies and prereqs for that, then that negates any other requirements that any subsequent team members would need.
And your major doesn't matter, correct?
Major does not matter.
And classification doesn't matter either, right?
No, it does not.
Okay, so anyone on the team is able to join.
Yes.
So yeah, if you are interested in this, the emails are at the very bottom. You can just message me if you don't have them right now. You can save them, I guess, right now. If not, you can contact any of us on the Discord later on, and send an email or a message, and y'all can get in contact with them. Anything else you want to add?
Nope, that's all.
That's it. All right. Thank y'all. I really appreciate it. Let us know how it goes later on the semester. Okay.
Of course, we'll do.
Okay. So next up, we're going to be talking a little bit about the shout outs for this week. So first, we want to give a shout out to Eason for putting a lot of work for the modular FinCAN design for structures. Last Friday, they had a meeting in which that was the main purpose of the meeting is to just go over their modular FinCAN design. I also want to give a shout out to Dom. I don't think he is here right now, but he's been a great mentor to a lot of the sub teams. He's provided a lot of good feedback throughout the year. So thank you, Dom. And also all the graduates who are graduating this weekend. I might have missed one. If I did miss your name, I apologize. But Eason, Alex, Kelly, Dom, and Javier, a few of them are not here. But for those who are, congratulations. I think everyone in there are engineers. So they're all graduating Saturday. So again, congrats. I wish you a good career. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the winter schedule right now. So for the Space City Rocketry winter schedule, what we plan on doing is just keeping pretty much everything the same. So for general meetings, we'll continue at the same time. That will be Tuesday at 7 p.m. The only difference, I guess, from the fall semester to now would be that they will be all during Zoom. We do not have access to the CBB room throughout the winter. So anytime we're going to be meeting online for a general meeting will be on Zoom, 7 p.m. Tuesday nights. Same with the sub-team meetings. They will continue at the same time. Whenever you are meeting with your sub-team, they will still remain the same. Same with the lab times. They will also be the same. The reason why we don't want to take a break is if we start taking breaks throughout this winter, there is a possibility that we'll have a lot of like setbacks later on in the semester, and we do not want to be rushing things in the spring, especially because now we gotta have like the hands-on stuff, and people are gonna get busy. I mean, we saw what happened in the last couple of weeks with finals and midterms. Everyone gets busy, and of course, school comes first. So we just gonna want to get as much work as we can. Another thing we want to mention today is the level 1 certification and the L1 schedule. Right now, what we're going to be doing is sending out a form after this meeting, just asking for your name, your last name, your email, and whether or not you're part of Space City Rocketry. And depending on how many people are interested on building their L1, that's how we're going to have the meeting times throughout the winter. We're going to have several ones too, and you're welcome to come as many as you can, as long as there's not too many people at the lab at the same time. And I really do encourage everyone to get their level 1 certification throughout the winter, just because that's when you're going to have the most time. So if you're in Houston and you can come to UH throughout the winter, it's a good like hands-on experience to work with your level 1. You get to learn how to use OpenRocket, and you learn the basics of rocketry when you're working in L1. It'll be fun for us just to be working at the lab throughout the winter. So please just at least fill out the form, and we can get some good work throughout the winter. Also, ham radio meetings Sunday at 5 p.m. If you're interested on getting your ham radio license, which is basically just a test you have to take, it's mostly memorization, but with Kurt being the person leading the amateur radio club, it will be really good for you just to learn something new. And if you want to go to spaceport and you want to be one of those lucky members from the sub teams, it'll be great. All the sub team leads are getting them. So if you're interested in that, check the ham radio, amateur ham radio channel on the Discord, or just send us a message. And last thing, when it comes to the winter schedule, the times will change for the next semester. They'll be looking a lot different because people do have different schedules. So for this winter, all the way until like January 18th, is going to stay the same as the fall. And a week or two before we get started for the spring semester, that's when we're going to start changing things. Upcoming deadlines. So progress report is due this Friday. I pretty much have filled out everything that we have already when it comes to Zenith, and whatever things we have left, that's going to be in the next 3 days. And then right after that, as I mentioned in the past month, the ordering process will be from December 17th through the 20th. We'll be doing a lot of the work when it comes to ordering things. Also, something that I did not mention in the winter schedule will be the LaTeX tutorial. It's basically something that physics students use to write their papers. It is very beneficial for us to learn how to use that, specifically for me and the leads, is because when it comes to writing a tech report later on this year, LaTeX is really, really, really good. So if you want to learn something else here in SER, we'll be announcing the times when Emily Humble, our old project manager, will be giving like a tutorial. Also, a winter social. I do want to host one, and I think all the other leads and Gustavo also want to host one this winter. So if you have any ideas of what we can do, please message Gustavo or me if you're interested at all. Even if you want to just attend, just send us a message so we know who's interested on going or not. It'll be fun, just us hanging out and so on. Now let's move on to the sub-team updates. First will be analysis.
All right, hello everyone. For analysis upcoming this week, we've been working on finalizing a fin design, which is a little bit I guess, dependent on a lot of other systems as well. So we're kind of just waiting on finalization of those parts before we can get a final fin design, at which point we'll run a fin flutter analysis, which should be really interesting and really cool to learn about. Also, the CAD design is coming along pretty well. As I just mentioned, some changes are in the works, so that will definitely have to be updated as time goes along, but we're in a good spot with that. And then also mentioning finalizing the OpenRocket and RockSim design files, so specifically working with recovery structures and avionics to make sure everything is up to date and we have the most optimal design. And then as Irvin mentioned, we're keeping our meeting times for winter break, and our main, I guess, goal for the progress report is providing some predicted flight data and any other analyses that we're responsible for. Yeah.
Thank you, Ravi. Next up, avionics.
Hello, everyone. Just wanted to say, hope we all had a great week thus far. First and foremost, wanted to start off with saying thank you to Melissa for hosting an amazing 3D printing workshop. She did a really good job of introducing the topic to us and teaching us all how to get started with that. Secondly, we have the bill of materials completed. That way we can start getting our materials ordered and get ready to go. Next, because there have been so many changes to the COT system, we have been primarily focusing on getting COTs finished. Because of this, we have been focusing on ground station for SRAD avionics only. So the rest of the projects have been cut because not enough research has been done for them. Next, Raj and I have created a planner/document so that all the sub-team members can use this to rely on all of the tasks that we need to get completed before we go to spaceport. I don't know if you want to click on the link or not, but if you open it up, there is a list of tasks that need to get done. And in that list of tasks, there are also people who are working on these tasks. So if you are interested in getting something done, if you're interested in jumping in on one of these projects, all you have to do is type your name in. And then lastly, we have decided to go with a pink tray for to answer your question, Ali. No, we did not get a recording of it, but we can produce some slides and we can upload that soon. And then lastly, we voted on going forward with a pink tray for avionics. To your right, you can see a rough sketch that we have completed for the avionics tray. Because of some recent changes, this might change soon. That is all.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Also, the pink tray, I approve. Next up is Payload.
Hey everyone, so we completed our first official lab this past Monday to catch up and see what we're doing now. We decided on choices for electronics and the biology portions of Payload. We decided on a Raspberry Pi, probably a Raspberry Pi Zero for our camera. We're looking at lenses and lights. On the right, there's a 300X lens that we will possibly be using. We're deciding on cell type, whether to stick with the yeast cells from last year or switch over to E. coli, because that would be cool. We're also working on a redesign of the frame. So we're working with a similar design to last year. We're possibly making it circular, having to make it fit with the new diameter. And we're finding ways to meet the weight requirements because it may be lighter than last year. And we also have to work with stabilizing the equipment. We're keeping the same schedule for the winter, meaning upcoming this week, we will be finalizing decisions on parts and frame design and the rest of the ideas.
Thank you, Izzy. Next up is propulsion. Tala.
So for propulsion this week, it's been mostly quiet, mainly just going back and forth with the primary vendor that we're looking at going with. Since the motors we are looking at, they're kind of hard to come by. It's just a matter of kind of calling dibs on the ones that they do have in stock. As far as the supporting hardware, we should be good on that. But for the reload itself, we're just waiting on like whenever we're totally finalized of which motor we're going with, and then we should be good to go. So yeah, it's just we're on standby until we finalize the decisions by the end of this week. Yeah, but that was all for propulsion.
Thank you, Tala. We will have a meeting between propulsion and SRAM propulsion later this winter to determine what the schedule will be looking for them in the winter. Recovery.
So, because I want you to see. So for recovery, last week was kind of slow. I unfortunately had some car troubles. But anyhow, we did meet with analysis to discuss the placement of the avionics bay within the airframe. And at the time, it seemed like single bay dual deployment would be really hard to implement. And we started discussing the idea of going with a dual bay dual deployment design. We also finished some of the CADs for some of the recovery equipment. Shout out to Stephanie and Juan Carlos for working on those. And then upcoming is just finalizing all of our component and design decisions. But I do have some breaking news from today's lab. Can you move to the next slide, please? Yes, so breaking news, in today's lab, we actually met to try and come up with a design using single bay that would allow us to essentially resolve the issues we were having yesterday. And this is the design that we came up with. I'm sorry, it looks really bad, but we literally did this like right before the meeting. But we basically shifted the position where the rocket would split. So there would be 16 inches between the top of the bulkhead to the placement of where the rocket would split, and then another 16 inches. And then on top of that would be the nose cone. And this would mitigate the risk of sipping. And it will also allow the main parachute to easily eject, or the main parachute in the bag when the drogue deploys. And the coupler would go between, it would be 16 inches above the avionics bay, and it would just be a hollow coupler, basically, literally just meant to split the airframe at that location. From my understanding yesterday, one of the issues that we had with trying to have avionics as a coupler was that it wasn't possible to purchase a airframe section that long. So that made it really hard to have single bay. Payload is the coupler.
Okay.
Saying yesterday when I was meeting with Ravi, we were trying to mitigate the risk of sipping. So we discussed the idea of having avionics be a coupler. But that made it really hard to have single bay. But now with this design here, we will have a hollow couple, a hollow coupler 16 inches above the avionics bay. That would just be a hollow cylinder basically. And the whole purpose of it would be to shift the separation location upwards to mitigate the risk of sipping and to allow the main parachute bag to deploy. Yes, we can talk about it more tomorrow. But with this design, it pretty much solved all of the issues we were having with single bay. And we made a list of what would happen if we switched to dual bay, dual deployment. And if we did that, it would essentially just require way more equipment. So that's it for recovery this week.
Thank you, Carlos, for the breaking news. I really appreciate it. I know that recovery, avionics, and structures will be meeting tomorrow to talk a lot more in detail about a lot of different stuff. So next up is structures.
Hello, everyone. So like we were talking about, we'll be having a meeting with avionics and recovery tomorrow to settle the issues with dual versus single deployment, the sizing and placement of the avionics tray, and figuring out the exact length that we'll need to be doing for the upper and lower airframe and the placement of everything. We're also in the process of trying to finalize the fin shape with analysis help. I have scheduled a meeting with the UH machinists, so we'll be talking to them about the fin can design, and we'll be in the process of updating our bill of materials once we have more confirmation on the other things.
Thank you. Next is the SRAP propulsion. I don't think they have any updates this week. So I guess we can just move on to the questions. Does anyone have any questions this week? You can send them on the chat.
I'm not going to be here for the winter, but is it still possible for me to participate in the L1 certification process?
Definitely you can create your rocket on OpenRocket. That still is a possibility. And then when you get back, you can start on your building process for your rocket. So yes, you'll be a part of it. As far as you being able to launch, of course, that's not possible, but we do plan on having different trips to some of the Tripoli sites throughout next semester.
I could just make my own rocket at home. I'm already planning to make the engine. So, I mean,
there you go.
I don't really know how a safe.
Well, for the certification, it's that you have to have an H-class motor. Yeah.
It has to be commercial.
Yeah, I figured it'd probably be something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think making your own engine might work. Celine said that Joao and Melissa also are going to be making videos related to L12. And then Gustavo said, and you have to launch it with a Tripoli member sign off on at a launch site. Oh, to sign off on it at a launch site. Okay. I was confused with that. Yeah, that's one thing I do want to encourage this winter. If you're in Houston and you can make it, let's just build our L1. I think it's it's a really good hands-on experience too. Any other questions? Joaquin, you better make your O1, bro. That's all I'm gonna say.
Are we gonna have a meeting next week, or is this the only meeting?
No, we're gonna be having a week every Tuesday.
Okay, appreciate it.
On Zoom. Yeah. And yeah, any other questions? You can email it to me or Gustavo. Our emails are on the screen right now, or you can always message any of us on the Discord.
What constitutes a question?
Question, comments, concerns, anything. You can say anything you want right now.
That was my question.
That was your question? Okay. Very, very good question, Alex. I have a question for you, Alex. Are you listening? I don't think he's here.
No, I heard.
You heard? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you excited for graduation this Saturday?
I'm like the opposite of excited.
What? Why are you not excited for graduation?
I'm just kidding. Of course I'm excited.
Okay.
Is that a DJ mic?
This?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. My friend let me borrow it, and I've had it for over a year now.
That boy's saying karaoke.
I can. What song you want me to sing right now? I'll sing for you.
Way Too Sexy.
You want me to sing Way Too Sexy by Drake featuring Future?
Yeah, go for it.
I need the beat. I don't think I could do it without the beat. JP, where's JP? Is JP not here? He said he was gonna provide a beat. Oh yeah, he's gone. He's gone. I'll rap for y'all for our New Year's.
All right, you have a good
Christmas.
night. All right, peace out.
Yeah, okay, I'll end it here. Let me stop. Okay. Y'all have a good night. Enjoy your winter break. I'll be seeing y'all throughout the winter. Good luck.
Thank you. Bye.